Good afternoon, and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Providence Holy Cross Medical Center. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality life, our guest today is Bradley Grose of Santa Clarita Grocery. And that's speaking of food for seniors, right?
That is correct.
Well,
and good afternoon.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so go for it, kid.
Well, we've been having a great summer. We have 3 distributions, Monday evening, Wednesday evening, and Saturday morning. And the evening are from 5 to 7 p.m. If you can't make a weekday, we have Saturday morning from 9 to 11. Wow. And it's a drive up, and you get your grocery list to the front desk, and we have the most incredible high school students that actually deliver your groceries right to your car.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's a wonderful experience.
That's terrific that you're using students.
Right, right.
Boy, it really enhances their life.
It does.
It really does.
For a lot of them, the younger ones, it's kind of like a first job because they're having to learn to communicate.
Yep.
It's not their parents, and in a very short while, they own it. And you can just watch it. A first volunteer, we tell them you're a volunteer in training. If you volunteer a second time, you're a veteran training a volunteer in training, and we pay in avocados. So,
Hey, that's
so
great.
if you do well, you
You
move up in the company that quick.
You have guacamole for the rest of your life.
That's right.
Oh, that would not bother me at all.
That's right.
But Bradley, let's talk to our listeners about what Santa Clarita Grocery is. If they've been listening to this program, they pretty much know, but there are others who are driving through and trying to figure out what are they talking about.
Right.
And so let's talk about the beginning, what incentivized you to start this program here in our valley. And now we're being faced with people who might have food problems in the future and are threatened by it.
Right.
And the role of that plays in what you started and what you're doing right now.
Right. So 2025 is our 7th year. Our anniversary, it's really hard to believe.
Well, I was there, when was it, 3 years ago? 2 years ago.
It could have been 3, Barbara.
Could have been
It's
3.
been a
Yeah,
while.
you're right.
Right.
That's
Because
right.
I think it was shortly after COVID.
Oh, it was. You're right.
Right.
You're right.
And you and your
Absolutely.
daughter came by,
Yes.
and it was such a
that's
treat.
right. Oh, boy.
Right.
That place is incredible. You need to go there, Gene. You really do. Have a visit.
So
just
it's a
incredible.
beautiful experience. It's more than food. All of our volunteers are trained to really do our best to care for those that actually come for groceries. And so our model is we get to know them and find out what their challenges are. Most people that have food insecurity or that there's not enough money at the end of the bank or at the end of the month, right? That there's other issues, other looming. It could be
Right.
that you've lost your job. It could be that your car broke down. You can't afford to fix it. There's a whole myriad of reasons of why people suffer from food insecurity. So we're really there for the person, and they come away with groceries. We get to know them and walk through their valley, and we have a wonderful time with these. We call them our guests. That goes back to Disney, right? They're our guests, not our client. So we try our best to really treat them with dignity and keep that intact and go from there.
How do you think, Bradley, the recent laws that are cutting back on SNAP programs and different programs in our country are going to affect how you do business for your guests? It won't take effect for a year
Right.
or so, and we understand that. But, in medicine and the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. You know, we got to be prepared. How do we
That's
do
right.
that?
Well, I mean, how our operation works is we actually get donations from all the major food retailers. So I don't think that will have a big impact on us because we still get a lot of drinks for children and snacks and that type of thing. And so we like the stores, it'll hit the stores on their retailability, right? But then that's where our donations come from. So they'll innovate, they'll find a way to still have snacks and such for children.
Right.
Right.
But we're not talking about food that is expired and moldy.
No.
No, we're talking about
Fresh.
fresh food.
That's right.
You know, that people who are insecure about getting food for their child in the morning for
Right.
breakfast, go to school. You know, we're talking about how do they survive this new impact, financial impact that might come at them, and all of a sudden they don't know how to handle it. We have Santa Clarita Grocery
Right.
in Santa Clarita to help out with that.
Right. And again, they're given a week's worth of food. So it's not like a box of food that'll get you through in addition to what your needs are. It is, you come away with 30 to 50 pounds just of vegetables and fruit.
There you go.
That's just veggies and fruit, right? Then you have meats. We generally, we're back up to about 600 pounds of meat intake a week that we get donated. So that's from pork to beef to chicken. And if people have a preference, they get their preference.
Now, in terms of cost to the guests,
Right.
do they have to pay like a Costco does, a membership fee? Do they have to have a special card? Do they have to be a certain income level to be able to stand in line?
Right, that's a great question. We believe in the honor system, and so we don't take all their information and pass it on to the federal government. If they're in need, they're in need. They show up, and we do ask for some skin in the game from our guests, and that is asking if they would make a $10 contribution, and that goes towards paying our bill, being that we're all volunteers. So that's our one small revenue stream that keeps the lights on and the power paid for. You know, so but when you look at the quality of food in the different food groups, they're really getting a balanced diet from deli to meats to produce, both veggies and fruits, breads, all kinds of breads. You know, if people have gluten issues, sometimes we get the bread in that works for their diet. Right, but then also desserts for kids' birthdays. We always have cakes from Costco's Great Bakery.
And peanut butter.
Peanut butter
is big time.
Yeah, peanut
Pasta,
butter, and then
spaghetti sauce,
right, and mac and cheese.
mac and cheese.
Yeah, so those, like when you look at lefties, if you make something, there's leftovers. It would probably be close to 3 meals a day.
Wow.
But on a conservative side, we just say we're providing 2 meals a day.
Which item that you have is always in demand?
Peanut butter and jam, and pasta sauce, because that can go. You can make your kids a sandwich in the morning, or you can make pasta in the evening and have leftovers for
go.
lunch. Right? Those 4 elements.
Interesting.
But you know, this is a huge endeavor, and in anticipation of problems related to food insecurities,
Right.
you know, here it is 2025. We'll anticipate even a more difficult time in 2026. How are we going to, how did you end up looking forward and saying, we're going to need something like this in Santa Clarita? Where did that start, Bradley?
Right. I wish I was that wise. We called it an experiment of how could we innovate in the charity space. How could you take something that is a necessity and something that is a big need, and it will always be a need. It's not like that will ever go away. It's what makes people's hearts shine when they connect with serving others, and all of a sudden they realize, like, this, I feel so different from being able to give back to others. But, we started 7 years ago and didn't have any idea where this was going to go.
But how did you know what to do? How did you
Yeah.
know how to organize this? How did you know how to round up people to help with the guests and volunteers and, the different groups that you have, getting them into, the guest focus? How
Right.
did you?
Why did you start it?
Well, there's people in need, and there was a core group of people that were volunteering at a local food bank, and it ended up closing its doors. And I was on the advisory board of that group, and so I just asked the $1 million question: hey, these people still need to be fed, and are any of you interested in owning what I called load-bearing volunteer responsibilities, meaning you're going to put in 5 to 10 to 15 hours a week, and guess what? Every person said, I'm in. So we started looking, and we teamed up with another charity, A Light of Hope, that does counseling for youth and adults of substance abuse and alcohol. And so that way it enabled us to keep our bills down. And it was a win for both of us, because on our off nights, Tuesday and Thursday nights, they are doing their breakout groups in the warehouse. And then on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, we're doing the distribution in the warehouse.
How did Jerry and Carl Goldman play a role in all of this that many people don't know about in this
Right.
community?
Right.
And I'm not trying to shine the light, but
Right.
I am, because I think it's important that people recognize the value of what you are doing, what
Right.
they have done in order to get this started, put the embers, light them up and keep them going. But most people don't know what Jerry and Carl did.
Right. They launched a charity called the Santa Clarita Valley Coalition, and that was for disaster relief. And that was for school shootings. They played a huge hand in raising funds dollar for dollar instead of GoFundMe that I think it takes 8%. If the contributions come in through the coalition, it's dollar for dollar towards whatever the need may be. So they've done from floods in Sand Canyon, from people being dislodged from fires, their homes burning down. So the coalition is this kind of best kept secret, but it comes in force because they can get the message out. And so when we wanted to launch, it takes a period of 3, 4, 5, 6 months to launch a
Yep,
501c3.
Yeah,
So
paperwork.
Right, with the state of California and
Regulations and following the
Right.
rules and everything like that.
And then what kind of food bank are you going to be? There's a whole variety of some, and we wouldn't be cooking food. What we do is we receive packaged food, and we flip it as soon as we could possibly flip it and get it back out into the community. So we reached out to Carl and Jerry and said, would you let us be under your umbrella for the Disaster Coalition, because this is a humanitarian issue, really, right?
It's a threat.
So the two of them worked out perfect. So they let us work under that for 6 months. The board approved that. And then we ended up moving on to a church called Real Life Church. They have a non-religious charity called Real Life Charities.
Yes.
And we went to them, and that appeared to be our home. And so we made an agreement, so we didn't have to file for paperwork. We were just part of Real Life Charities. Well, as you know, in startups, once the wheels start turning, and we were running 100 miles an hour, and they couldn't even keep up with us as far as having to move and be so nimble, because that's the only way to get it dialed in, is just being nimble. So after 9 months, we said, it's a challenge for us because our the financial aspect of things, you have to move very quickly in that space. So we reached back out to the coalition, and then they had a board meeting, and they took us in, and it became this perfect match. It's disaster and humanitarian rolled up into one ball.
Into one ball.
And and the amazing volunteers at KHTS do a lot of the work when it comes to the office type of work, the web social media type of thing. They've been a tremendous help that has helped keep our costs down, right? So, it's been a lot of really giving people that are behind the scenes.
But maybe a little bit luck, of course, but making the right decisions, having the right people around you, but coming from a community
Right.
that is going to provide not only the mental ability to do what you're doing,
Right.
but to have the creative ability to keep things going
Right.
and take further steps.
That's
for
right.
Over 7 years now.
Right. And we love our seniors. So I would just encourage any seniors that if there's not enough, you're on a fixed income and you're having a challenge, come by and we will take care of you and we will help you get through that. It's not a shame thing at all. It's a beautiful thing. It's a partnership. We partner with you.
And it's a necessity also.
Right.
It really is, because we have an incredibly high senior population
Right.
in this valley. We really do. There are so many seniors here.
Yeah, it's
And
20
I
to
think-
25% I think of the population.
Yeah,
Somewhere
and
in there
that's-
ranges
That's quite
back and forth.
large.
Right.
Really is.
But all over the place, wherever you go, to the bank, to the grocery store, you're going to see seniors, not with walkers or wheelchairs, but you're seeing them actively driving their cars and
Absolutely.
going shopping and things
right.
like that, participating in the community. But we don't want to have them end up being food insecure.
Right.
And we don't want their grandkids to be food insecure.
Right.
And you have provided the option for many people to be able to look into Santa Clarita Grocery to obtain the foods to keep all of us moving.
Right. And even on personal care items for seniors, we have different size diapers. We have all kinds of shampoos, conditioners, toothpaste, any personal care items. That's something we encourage people. If they're having a hard time, please come by, because that's what we're there for.
Do you think there are different organizations that provide humanitarian needs, but I just haven't heard, a lot being out there. I mean, I know you guys are out there through the radio station, but
Right.
I'm just afraid, I am so afraid that the people in real need, like especially next year when they're facing this problem, that's when their ears perk up and they got to
Right.
go, oh, I think I heard a year ago something on the radio station about a organization here. How do we keep that in the front of their mind to make sure that either they are going to participate or they're going to volunteer?
Right. That's so true. Yeah. So I would just encourage you, if you're having a challenge, please come by, and we would love to meet you, get to know you, and maybe you come by every other week or once a month. Come by if you need it.
Well, when we come back, let's talk about volunteering and
Okay.
what the future holds for all of us here in Santa Clarita, and how we, as citizens here, can be better humanitarians to the people around us.
Right.
I'm Dr. Gene Dorio with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station AM 1220 and FM 98.1 KHTS.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Gene Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Bradley Grose of Santa Clarita Grocery. And I wanted to ask you, how many seniors do you have taking part in your food program?
I don't have a number, but I would guesstimate that 10% of our guests that come are seniors. And then we have the Northeast Valley Medical Center that is working with people with diabetes, and they send all their clients to us to get food. What we didn't know is we were being watched by them for a year.
Watched?
Monitor, watch, probably watch.
They were sending people to us and sending their clients to a variety of different food banks. And their study came back. They said that we were hands down in a whole different league of our own when it came to caring for people, getting them food, getting them enough food to last a week with their present conditions of diabetes. And so it was really
Congratulations,
beautiful. So after that, they reached out and said, we've been watching you for a year and we want to give you a grant.
Oh, wow.
And so they gave us a
Cool.
grant for the last 2 years just because of the service was such quality to their clients. So,
Yeah.
What an
Well,
honor.
right.
And going back to Barbara's question, how about not just those who are served, but how many seniors, not seniors in high school, but seniors, older adults, are participating and volunteering with you as well?
We probably we have 150 volunteers that get rotated because we have 12 shifts a week, and so being all volunteer. We have our drivers. They go early, and I call it going fishing, cast your net, bring in the donation back to the warehouse.
And when you say donation, you mean food.
Food donations.
Not a dollar.
From
We're talking about
from Costco, Sprouts, Albertsons, Walmart's, Ralph's, every.
because you know
food
when we
retailer.
all go shopping,
Right.
and they say bakery over here, we walk around and there, all these pastries and donuts and things are there, and I always sit back and go, what happens if they don't sell these?
Right.
And now I know.
Yeah, they go right to our drivers. They bring it back to the warehouse, and then we have our team 6 days a week of what's called intake, and they QC all the food coming in. So we have again those are volunteer teams, 6 different teams a week, but they go through if the produce, fruits and vegetables are not good for human consumption. We have 4 different farmer kind of families that pick up to feed their goats and sheep.
Yes,
And
very good.
so it's
goes
not going in
somewhere.
the trash bin, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
This
It
is great.
used.
yeah, it's being used. Our goal is to be 100%. That's impossible to be 100%, but I would say we're 98.9% of it is not going in the trash bin, right?
That's great.
And it's going out to the animal farms. And one of the pigs just had a huge, what do you call it? Not a litter. They had 9 babies,
Oh, good Lord.
and all their neighbors out, I think it's out in Acton, they were asking, how in the world your pigs are so healthy?
No, there's a secret here. There's a secret.
Santa Clarita Grose. Well,
Yeah,
is your family involved? Have they been involved?
My wife, she does the scheduling for the teams,
Wow.
which is a big job.
Oh, I
huge.
can imagine.
And then the training of those folks when they come in. And just Saturday, we had the Girl Scouts come, which was the cutest thing in the world. But we like to work in the buddy system, so we had the girls run in 3s.
Yeah.
They were Troop 212. That was the group.
Big shout out to them.
It was awesome. Great group of kids. But so my wife does scheduling. Jill did it, but Jill is taking a break right now. I think
Jill
you've
is
met.
your
You've
daughter?
met.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Jill was the one that did. She was one of our founders, but she did community outreach and
Oh,
all,
yeah, I've
all
met
the
her
scheduling.
before.
She's a
I've met
great
her
lady.
before.
So she's taking a break right now, and so my wife jumped in, and so so there's volunteer opportunities. They would just have to call the office, and the office number is 661-425 7575. That's 661-425-7575. If you have any questions about food and needing groceries or volunteering for the high schools, we probably have every high school represented as volunteers because
that's
they need their
terrific.
community
Yeah,
service.
they do.
Service, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so awesome. And then we on Saturday we mentor the kids to let them run the show. So we have a new volunteer that's getting her RN certificate, and she needed 20 hours. So after her last of the 20 hours on Saturday, she ran the whole distribution, and she was the boss. So there's some good learning skills that are being passed along.
Oh,
That'll
yes.
look good on your resume.
Right
Yeah.
on, right on.
But not only that, as a physician, I always look at, feedback.
Right.
And for me, the feedback was, if somebody lived, I did great. If somebody didn't, that could be a problem.
Yeah,
But
right.
feedback do you ever get feedback from surveys? Do you ever send out, to find out how do we improve what we're doing? I mean, it sounds
Right.
great already. Is that how you got to where you are, by surveying people or just asking people what do you think of what we're doing and how we're doing it and anything we can do to make it better?
Well, we've in the past we've sent out a questionnaire and asked for
Questionnaires.
letter. We even provided an envelope and the paper and the questionnaire you could check. And believe it or not, we got 5 back.
5?
5 back.
Well, if they're not
And-
used to it, then
Right. Right. And it just wasn't something that, for whatever reason, we just didn't get any feedback.
you don't need-
However, we get feedback from our guests every
Yes.
week.
Uh-huh.
Because again, our volunteer team asks people, "How you doing? I know you were out this. What's going on?" And we get feedback, and 9 out of 10 they'll just say, "You have no idea how much this means to us, and what a great organization this is. People are so kind, thoughtful, and delivering their groceries to them right to their car."
But Kim,
You know.
is there? See, I just love stories about
Right,
how
right.
people are in their home and they're facing an empty refrigerator.
Right.
I don't love that story, but I love the story that somewhere along the line here in Santa Clarita, we are filling that refrigerator with worthy food.
Right,
And those
right.
stories exist, and
That's right.
whether it be in a newspaper or on KHTS, but maybe part of what we can do is put it out there, even have a guest come on that has received food from Santa Clarita Grocery
Right.
to help them out and
Right.
what the story
Right.
is behind it.
I have the perfect guest for that. There's a gal named Victoria, and she just showed up within the last 2 months. But she has congestive heart failure and said that she was given X amount of time to live. She showed up, and all of a sudden, everybody loved on her, embraced her, and she just gives us a hug every week and just says, "This means the world to me." And it's filling the need because she's on a fixed situation. But anyway, she's very well spoken, and she even made a recording and sent it to me. She wanted us to know how bad she appreciates the service. So
Oh, that's wonderful.
right,
That's wonderful.
right.
It really is.
How about donations? People listening to our show right now go, this sounds like a great organization, 501c3.
Right.
They figured out the pathway for food to keep people from having food insecurity.
Right.
But how can we help? Because maybe they're not as mobile, or maybe they don't have the time. Maybe they're
Right.
raising children still. How can they make a donation? Calling that same number, or there's no GoFundMe or
No,
anything like
right.
that. You
No.
don't need that. But how does somebody listening to this show say, I want to help this group out?
Right. We take donations Monday through Friday, like 9 to 12 in the mornings. Our teams are there every day.
That's for people who show up, but how about those who might be listening and say, well, I'm not going to go over there because I don't need
Yeah.
any of the food, but I want to make a donation, and they
Right.
come into KHTS as well, go over to your facility,
Put it
or
in the
put it in the mail.
Put it in the mail or online, our website. It's nothing fancy. It's a landing page, but it gives you all the information. But if you wanted to make a financial contribution, there's a PayPal right there on the website. You click it and you can make that type of a contribution if you'd like. We have about 5 faith-based organizations that do monthly contributions to us, and that has kept us going, believe it or not. They're not giant contributions, but collectively, it's making a huge difference. So if somebody wanted to contribute, if they wanted to do a monthly kind of thing, that would be really helpful. If they wanted to do a $20 or dollars a month or $50 a month and just make it part of their regiment, it would go a long way.
And if some of your guests, like Victoria, might be willing to speak up a little bit about
Right.
their experience,
Right.
I'm sure Carl and Jerry on their website would enhance it through a story so that people can hear the value of it. Because I think that right now people might not be facing a problem,
Right.
but I think a year from now it'll be just the opposite story. And I want all of a sudden people to remember that
The
Santa Clarita
resource, right.
Grocery exists,
Right,
and
right.
they can turn to somebody. Because right now, oh, no problem, I'm not having a problem, I don't have to listen to this show. But indeed, it's moment to moment. You don't know when you're going to have congestive heart failure. You don't know when your refrigerator is going to be empty. You don't know you can't sometimes anticipate that illness or money problems or social problems with the economy and things like that. So, I just like to be able to see if there's someone out there, Victoria and Plus, who might say, let me tell my story.
Right. We'd be
Just a
happy
thought,
to.
just a
Right.
thought.
No, I would love it because you would hear it right from them. It's just, it's a special thing. It's what keeps us going.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk to Carl and Jerry about that, about getting one of the folks here to write about what's gone on, what your efforts are doing, and how people have improved and gotten better because of what your organization did and putting things together for everyone else.
Right.
It's wonderful, I think.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because you're
Thank
like
you.
unsung heroes of Santa Clarita.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It reminds me of something that we had growing up, and it was called the can-do spirit. Like where if you set out to do something, you're all on board with it, right? And the volunteers have every kind of background you could imagine, multitudes of different, faith, their thoughts, their education, their background, immigrants, and guess what? We all work together and have a blast doing it.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
That works.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
that's it, teamwork.
And,
And that's so important for young people.
right.
It really is,
right.
because it gives them a sense of organization and the way they need to handle things as they get older
Right.
in their own well-being and their own families and everything, because kids need that, and I don't know that they get it in school.
Right.
And
it's been really wonderful. We've written letters to our seniors. We always write a letter to go in their CV as they apply to colleges. And we've had kids, several at Berkeley, USC, UCLA, one's getting her PhD now.
Cool.
These were the kids that were
Graduated from you guys.
yes, from volunteering
From
with
getting
us.
that experience.
And it was it's really a beautiful thing to see
oh
that
yeah,
happen.
and it's so valuable for youngsters. It really is.
Right,
For
right.
teenagers,
Yeah.
it's very valuable.
Yeah. So seniors, when you come, you're going to get some smiley faces bringing your groceries right out to your car. And that's what we want. We want you to feel blessed and that you're not alone and that we have a partnership with you
Yes.
and that we'll do our best.
Yes.
So when we come back, we'll finish up and go through all the things that we've talked about, and hopefully tie everything together in a big bow
Okay.
for all of us to
Get the address.
the address and
Yes.
you have the details, Barbara. So let's do that. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station AM 1220 and FM 98.1 KHTS.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Gene Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we've been speaking with Bradley Grose of the Santa Clarita Grocery. And I think we need to have some information on where you're located. And
Okay.
let's go over again when you're open.
Okay.
And
So our address is 21176 Center Point Parkway, but it's spelled the British way. Centre, right? Pointe Parkway. And that is in the right on Center Point behind Walmart on Carl Boyer.
Boyer.
Right kind of between where the Harley dealer was and
Yep.
Bowman High School. We're right at the apex of the hill in the back, and there's a big American flag on our building. It's about 15 feet long that hangs.
oh yes,
Right.
yes.
So that's our address. You can find us online at www.santaclaritagrocery.org. Again, that's www.santaclaritagrocery.org. And again, our number is area code 661-425-7575.
Can people just come over to Center Point and get information
They
if they're
sure
listening to
can.
the show? Or like maybe, no, I'm sure there are listeners who are going, I like this, but I don't need it, but I want the information from my friends.
Right, right.
So they can just walk in. I mean, is there a door open, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday or Saturday?
Right. It's every day from 9 to noon, and we have flyers there that we can give to
There you go.
people. We also have a proxy program if some of you seniors aren't driving anymore, but your children can pick up groceries for you. We have a proxy program where we sign both of them up, the driver and say it was their parent, and they can pick up groceries and drop them off at their folks' house. Or it could
That's
be a
great.
next door neighbor that you know and that they need groceries. So please utilize that because that's been a great system to get people groceries that they need.
Now, they get to select it online too, like if they need milk or pasta.
Not online,
pasta.
but when you show up, that's when we go at the front desk. You go through all that on your shopping list.
Oh, I see.
And then sometimes we have milk, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have eggs, sometimes we don't. But we're getting a grant for milk and eggs. It'll hit sometime in the next couple months if we get it. But I think we have a good chance of it.
So do you have to write grants
Yes.
too,
Yeah,
Bradley? Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
So we have a grant writer who's a rock star
Uh-huh.
that has been with us since day one. And so she's got all of our grants that we have got. She has written them up, and she's just awesome. Yay, Kelly. So,
Shout out to her.
but just to
Very
give
good.
the understanding of the scale, so 2024, we passed out 400,744 meals.
Wow.
And that equates to 446 tons of food that went
It's
out.
incredible.
That was edible food.
Bradley, that is
That
incredible.
was so it shows you kind of the need.
Yeah.
But that's what we're there for. Some people say, "Oh, I'm sorry that I've come here," and we're like, "We're so happy you did."
Oh yes.
And I always
Right.
ask, "How did you find out about us?"
Yeah,
"Well, I
Gene,
looked
you've got to go
online."
up to
Yes.
to visit the place. It's incredible.
And it'll be easy for me to
is.
find because I'll just look for the halo around Bradley's head. Because it's just awesome what he's doing for our community. And,
you're too kind.
real briefly, I know we're going to end in just a second, but
Right.
are there other communities doing what you're doing, or is this just isolated to Santa Clarita.
Oh, every community has food banks.
But how about like yours?
Well,
for
this
your
is
guests?
unusual. I call it a premier food bank because the groceries get wheeled right out to our guests, and they have a say in what their groceries are going to be to a
Yes.
certain degree. So it's a beautiful thing,
It is. It's more than that.
and
It's-
we have a beautiful team.
Well, so just once again reiterating, 661-425-7575 is contact phone number, and it's at 21176 Center Point Parkway, Santa Clarita Grocery. Bradley Grose, thank you for being on the show and enlightening our audience as to what they can do to help themselves and help others as well.
Thank you.
It's an
Thank you.
incredible place. It really is.
We appreciate it. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care and Providence Holy Cross Medical Center. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.